all trades, and I have a Sims 4 speed build for you today. This is what I'm affectionately calling the holiday house or the holiday village. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to call it yet. You'll see when I post on the gallery. Speaking of gallery, you can find this build on the gallery by searching hashtag Cheri of all trades. That's CHERI of all trades, all one word. So I wanted to build a house inspired by Halloween. And then I thought, oh, what if I did a house that was inspired by Nightmare Before Christmas? So it was half Halloween, half Christmas, and dark and scary. But then I'm like, wait a second. Remember that scene in Nightmare Before Christmas when Jack Skellington is going to, when he first meets Santa Claus, he goes into the forest and there's all these trees that are marked with all holidays. And I thought, how cool would that be if instead of being trees, they were little studio apartments and you had all the main characters or whatever mythological creature, like a bunny for Easter, or Cupid for Valentine's Day. If you had, I forgot St. Patrick's Day. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, it doesn't have all the holidays I like to celebrate, but it does have a lot of holidays I like to celebrate. So it has, this build has a house, so that's 6 studio apartments. So each studio apartment is completely livable on its own. So you can have 6 adult Sims here, or you can have, 8 Sims, because each apartment does have a double bed and its own bathroom and its own kitchen. And because they're so small, I didn't separate, the bedroom and the kitchen into separate rooms, so it's kind of just all together. Anyway, so this build includes Valentine's Day, Easter, 4th of July, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. So that's the order of the American holidays, and if I could go back and add a St. Patrick's Day, I would. But thinking about it now, there wouldn't have been space for another build. Plus, I like the way it turned out. So I am doing the kitchen of the 4th of July room, and if you'll notice, the theme is red, white, and blue, obviously, but the way I did the cabinets kind of is representative of our flag, the United States flag, with the blue in the upper left corner and then red and white stripes the rest of the place. So I thought that was pretty cool. The bathrooms, because I didn't build these buildings as square, the bathroom placement and the bedroom placement I had to get a little bit creative, and also it was challenging to not have every apartment have the same layout. So all of the bathrooms wound up being in the corner, but I didn't want the bathrooms to have the same shape or the same items, so there's a little toss up there. And again, I said earlier, I didn't want to enclose any bedrooms just because that would have been the space is already small, that would have made it feel more small. So this is the most enclosed bedroom you get, and I think it works out well. So I do kind of wish there was more red, white, and blue things in the game. Probably one of the easiest decorations, the easiest rooms to do was Valentine's Day, just because there's all pink and red and a little bit of purple thrown in there. But I don't know. I like it. I think it's cool that you can imagine, I don't know who would be your character for 4th of July, but maybe Uncle Sam. So there's Uncle Sam. You could have the Easter Bunny. You could have Cupid for Valentine's Day. Halloween could be a witch, and Thanksgiving, I'm not even sure. And then Christmas could, be Santa Claus. So you could totally have like a little village of mythical characters, and it would be really awesome. So I definitely took advantage of filters in this game, filtering everything to make sure, the room stuck with the theme. And I think that this room, 4th of July, is the most modern of the builds. And there's a lot of white. This is the only build that includes this much white, and I should say that. Yeah. So once Seasons comes out for The Sims 4, and I'm sure it will at some point, it'll be really cool to be able to go back and edit this with the snow terrain that I'm sure they'd add, or whatever. It'll be cool. I'd add that to Christmas and maybe to Valentine's Day, just because living in New England now, it's more likely to snow on Valentine's Day than on Christmas. Actually, last year, Christmas was in the 70s. I remember like taking a picture of the thermometer in my car and posting online a picture. It's like, oh, where are my flip-flops? And then come the end of April, was the end of April? Or no, come the beginning of April, we got a snowstorm. Oh, having not grown up in the snow, it is very annoying to get snowstorms in April. Like, that's just cruel. In March, I've decided, like, my winter boots are going away, my winter coat's going away, I will suffer the rest of the time. And Valentine's Day this year was so cold. It was like minus 19 with a wind chill factor. We were told not to go outside because without proper protection, because if we didn't have gloves and scarves on, if we had any skin exposed, and get frostbite within a few minutes, and it was really scary. Anyway, back to the build for a minute. I love this fountain. It's so cool that well, it's a heart shape, obviously, and even though it takes up a lot of room in terms of I didn't have a lot of space to do Christmas on the other side, but you can't pass up a heart fountain. Like, you just can't do it. So cool. So I did use most every expansion pack and stuff pack that's available for the game, and I did definitely take advantage of the different colors, especially movie pack stuff. I feel like that pack has a lot of stuff, so I did take advantage of that. So this is where I'm trying to get a little bit creative with the layout, because there were diagonals I didn't really know how to work with, but I think it turned out in the end. So I don't think I've ever used like the pink appliances or the red appliances. Well, definitely not together, or that tablecloth with the the table with the covered tablecloth, the pink tablecloth, I should say. But this room screams Valentine's Day. Oof. After I graduated college and I worked at this job in LA for a few years, we had a Valentine exchange at work, and I'm one of those people that likes to get to do social stuff at work. So like while you're at work, like we had like monthly potlucks, or the Valentine's Day exchange, the Christmas potluck. We had a Fear Factor game once, or Fear Factor potluck once, where people brought in like disgusting foods or like odd foods from their culture. Like this one Vietnamese girl brought in coagulated pig's blood, which I did not try. I couldn't do it. But Valentines are so much easier when you buy them. Just the little like $2.99 Valentines from Target or Rite Aid or CVS, the drugstore. Oh man, but making Valentines, that is an endeavor. I used to, cut out my own Valentines, and I used stamps, and I stamped every single letter, and everyone had like a unique Valentine and message. I'm like, forget it. Like, I don't have time for this. But I'm past that now, and now I just buy like a cheesy card and go out to dinner. And yeah, last year, or this year I should say, was the ridiculously cold season, and like I didn't even want to go out, but we ended up going out anyway. But I did get a rose at dinner. That was kind of cool, from the restaurant. I do end up changing this tile in the bathroom. Yeah, so I just leave it pink, pink paint, because I thought that the paper would have been, or the tile it was just too annoying. So on the outside, I needed to, the romantic garden stuff pack definitely lended itself well here to the Valentine room. It's very cluttered outside, but at the same time, you gotta represent that it's Valentine's Day. I just used so much pink things, so many pink things. It was crazy how much pink and red I was able to find. I'm not really a fan of pink or red. Like, I wouldn't, I'm not going to decorate anything in pink or red, even independently, like in my own house. So I don't know. I like The Sims because you can kind of live, like you can do things that you're not used to. Like when my sister plays The Sims, if you're watching this, sorry, I love you. But she would always, create herself, and I'm like, what's the fun in that? Like, the whole point of The Sims is that you can be anyone else, anyone you want to be, and you can have, you can build your dream home. You can, pretend you can, build a character that you wish you were, or have a career that you wanted to do, or try something new. And honestly, for me, when The Sims 2, it's funny. So my boyfriend asked me, he's like, what's the point of The Sims? Like, what's the ultimate goal? I'm like, well, there's not really an ultimate goal. Like, you can create a challenge, or you can do a challenge and try to do something, but generally you just, you build a family, you build a house, or you build a person, you build a house, you start a family, you get married, you raise your kids, and then you're trying to get up in your career, trying to get promoted in your career, then your kids are trying to get good grades, and they grow up, and then they start their own family, and, then your original characters die, and you can just, see the legacy of your Sims go on. And that's really what the game's, evolved into from the original Sims, when, kids didn't become adults. Yeah, I feel like kids didn't become adults because I would always just kill them off in the pool when that was way easier to do. Anyway, so it's like, well, what's the fun in that? And honestly, in The Sims 1 or even The Sims 2, well, not so much The Sims 2, but The Sims 1, I would get kind of bored with my household I created. Especially, was it one world or two worlds? It's been so long I don't have the greatest memory of it, but I just remember, I was at the time I was sharing my computer. My sister and I were using the same computer, so we had the same neighborhood. So, and Aging was independent, so I would play my household. Her household would, whatever. I don't know if Aging was on. Anyway, so we had separate households, so I couldn't mess with her Sims because she would get really mad, just like she wouldn't mess with my Sims because I would get really mad. So, but eventually, when there's no story progression, you get really, really, really bored, because once you've earned the money, once you've, reached the pinnacle of your career, there's really not a lot left to do in the game. So I would always get bored, and then when my one spouse was away at work, I would have an affair with the mailman of a maid or something. And that was just what I did, and I don't know. That was how I played The Sims in The Sims 1. And now when I play The Sims, I don't know how I play The Sims now. I guess now I play more. I try to give my characters a story and have them have their own personal goals, and try to do different things for them. That's how I play The Sims now. I have a story for them, and I try to execute that story, and it works out. So I have a snow wall in my Christmas room, and I really like the Christmas room. It's nice and warm and dark, and it's I wish I could have gotten a fireplace in here. I think that would have been like the pinnacle of the Christmas room, but there just wasn't room for it. Although I guess potentially I could have taken something out to to add a fireplace. Excuse me, I yawned because I'm tired. And at work, so what I do for work is I design, develop, and deliver training. Not so much computer-based training, but that's something I definitely want to go into, which is why I started doing YouTube videos so I can get more confident in my ability to narrate and to speak. Although at work it would be scripted, but because this is what it's going out to such a wide audience, I have to be super professional and sound, and I can't have any mistakes, and there's a lot of editing, and I'm a perfectionist by nature anyway, so I thought that I would use YouTube as practice. Well, my department hired this person who does that for a living. He builds computer-based trainings, and he's only been around for a few months, and he's only built a couple of them, and the work he has done has been pretty subpar. So he talks about, he just wants to get on the podium. Or no, he's not going for the gold standard here. He's aiming for bronze. And I'm like, well, you wound up on the podium, I'll say. That's my way of saying, well, could have done better. So today my boss asked me, hey, do you think you can you redo what he did? And I don't know how I feel about that. But it's a great opportunity, so I guess I should be excited for it. But I don't mean to talk about work. It's actually really... I mean, you don't know. It would be hard to explain what I do. I think design, develop, and deliver training is pretty good. It's pretty good. Pretty good call. So, Halloween. So I kind of went around building these in different whatever I felt like, right? So I felt like doing 4th of July first, and then I thought, you know what, I'm going to do Valentine's next. Then it was Christmas, and I'm like, I can't wait to do Halloween, because there was the most content for Halloween, because we had the holiday, the spooky stuff pack, and then the Dia de los Muertos stuff pack, update that came out recently. So I thought that the Halloween, there'd be the most content, and it would be really, really fun. So I like the whole build, but I especially like the Halloween build, the Halloween room, little studio here. There's just so much content, and it's like, I should have made this Halloween room a little bit bigger. And there was definitely, I was just going to say something. But, so the reason I'm putting a half wall, it comes up later. It's actually because I use that for shelving to put on the little Day of the Dead dolls from the Dia de los Muertos stuff pack. Actually, a few years ago for Halloween, I always like to paint my face for Halloween. In 2011, my parents had this Halloween party, so I came up from LA to go to it and stay the weekend there. Anyway, so it was really, really fun. Like, loud music, karaoke. There wasn't any drinking games, but it was just a really fun party. So that year I dressed up as Maleficent, and it's funny, I bought my costume online, and I bought my size, and then I got it on. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really tight. Like, what the heck? Then I realized, like, reading the package, like, oh, this is a tween size. No wonder why it's so tight. So it wasn't meant for adults. It was meant for tweens, so I was wearing a costume meant for a 14-year-old. But you know what, though? Like, I don't know if a 14-year-old should be wearing that costume. So I ended up wearing, like, a leotard under it and leggings under it to make it, a little more modest, I should say. Anyway, so it was Maleficent, and I painted my face. I watched a YouTube tutorial and painted my face as Maleficent, and it was really cool. So ever since then, I bought professional face painting makeup, so every year since then, I've painted my face. And what normally happens is I normally paint my face for the Halloween party I go to that year, and then also on Halloween when I pass out candy. So Although last year, last year I did paint my face twice again, and I was a tiger. And anyway, the whole point of that story was 2 years before that, 2 years ago in 2013. So I guess, 3 years ago. Wow, time flies. I was a sugar skull, but only half a sugar skull. So I painted my face, half my face as a sugar skull, like really intricate, really cool. And then the other half of my face, I kind of painted like a sugar skull, but then I used liquid latex and oatmeal to create a texture gradient, and then I painted over that with like gray and to make it look like half my face had burned off. So that was really cool. Actually, it was really cool. Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do this year. I'm going to be back in California because I have a baby shower to go to at the end of the month in California. So I'm not really sure how to paint my face. I'm sad that I'm not going to be in New England for Halloween because, not knocking California for any of its Halloween or lack of Halloween, but this is Massachusetts. We have Salem. I've been to Salem in September and went on if you're ever in Salem, Massachusetts, please contact me or comment or something and let me know. Or I guess I can just tell you, the Pirate Museum was okay. The Wax Museum, waste of money. Oh my gosh, that was terrible. It wasn't that expensive. It was $12, but I paid for myself and my sister. And then we walked through it. We spent 20 minutes in there, and then we were done. I'm like, wait, that's it? And the wax was just not that great. The wax characters. The best one was probably the Witch History Museum or the Witch Museum of Salem. That tour was that was a good tour. And then the last tour we did was the Ghost Walk at night. And those Salemites, I'm not really sure what that you'd call somebody who lives in Salem's. The residents of Salem are very, very into Halloween. So they definitely have the whole theme of Halloween going, and they do it well. They do a good job doing Halloween there. But the ghost walk was cool. We got to go through cemeteries, and he told these ghost stories, and I don't necessarily believe in them, but they're still really interesting to hear about. And it's a lot easier to accept ghost stories when the person died in the 1800s. If the person had died in 1999 or something, that would be more scary because that's less time. That happened. Millions of people have been to Salem, Massachusetts since the witch trials. So if the people who were killed because they were believed to be witches, then if the people were killed because they were believed to be witches, well, it happened so long ago. If there really are ghosts, then you know that they're a friendly ghost, because if they were bad ghosts, they would have already hurt a lot of people. And you don't hear about ghosts hurting people, so they must not be bad ghosts. If they're ghosts at all, they must be good ghosts. So, 2 more rooms to do. Easter and Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, I saved for last because you can't really decorate for Thanksgiving. I mean, you can, but it's just a traditional American room. It's not really anything particularly special. So, let's see. Easter was so much fun to do. Lots of pastels. Definitely use the eggs from the egg hunt event. And I probably should have mentioned this earlier. Not every room has a computer or TV, but the people who live in this community would be Holiday Community. That would be a good name. Anyway, the people who live in this community definitely would definitely be friendly with each other. I mean, you live next door, so you're going to be friendly, hopefully. even Jack Skellington. So they'd all be friendly. So therefore, they just go over, visit thy neighbor, go ahead and watch their TV. And this is where I used a lot of the movie stuff pack. That was a good stuff pack. Oh, that was good. And then I keep forgetting that the movie posters were an add-on. They weren't part of the stuff pack. They were like a we're gonna give you a little sneak peek of the movie pack stuff, and then you'll buy it. Because you have the posters, you might as well have the content. But the content was really awesome. So I'm just adding in the eggs. Oh, that was so cool. Like, just, eggs in the kitchen totally makes sense. That reminds me I have eggs in my kitchen that I have not used. Hopefully they don't go bad. I'm so bad at that. I always buy eggs and then I forget to use them. Or no, I buy like a dozen eggs and then I only use like 4 of them because I only use them in baking or if I steam one. And then a few months, I guess it was like a year ago, I found out this guy I work with who lives in New Hampshire. He lives on a farm. I think he bought a farm, and then his kids, his daughters, decided, hey, Dad, you need some chickens. So his dad his kids bought him some chickens. So he would get like 12 eggs every day, and he couldn't eat that many eggs. So you just bring in an egg carton, and then he would give you eggs, and like farm fresh eggs, like farm fresh, like huge brown eggs. They tasted so amazing because they tasted really good because they'd been laid that morning or, within the week. But he left the company, unfortunately. That's too bad. He was a nice guy. I like the Easter room, too. I mean, again, I like all the rooms, but as I'm watching this, going back and seeing what I did, I'm like, oh, I remember I did that. So yeah, so I put the little characters, the little My Sims dolls, I decided to add those. So the frog made sense to go with Easter, kind of, because it was just something different. Or no, because frogs are springtime. And then added like the little woodland character because I thought druids is also like Mother Nature, springtime. And there was like a couple Halloween themed My Sims characters, so I added those two. And then I like what I did with the bathrooms. Challenging to do them on a diagonal, but they have everything that you need, and yeah, I like the way the bathrooms turned out as well. I mean, not exactly private, but it's a community, it's a commune. You're not going to get all that much privacy. I haven't thought about what kind of house I want to build next. I think that sometimes I get inspiration. Sometimes I just get inspiration, and it doesn't even occur to me that it's inspiration. So this one. So it was gonna start as a Halloween build or a Halloween and Christmas build, and then I decided I'm just gonna do a holiday build, and that's kind of where it came in. So I'm not sure where the next inspiration will carry me. So the Thanksgiving builds is just a very, very traditional build, and there's not. I mean, I think it's just more of a traditional like American build. Like, hopefully, I don't know. I haven't been. I've been to Asia, and I've never seen this style in Asia. So I have not been to Europe, but I'm hoping that this build this style is a very traditional American style, and you wouldn't necessarily see this in some place like Australia or Australia or Europe. Although it's potentially you could see it in UK, I'm sure. But I don't know. I feel like this is, when I think of traditional, this is what I envision. Last year for Thanksgiving, I went over to my coworker's house, or my coworker's sister's house, and my coworker's like, she's like my work mom. So she has a 15-year-old daughter who ask her every day if she talks to me, so it's kind of cool. Anyway, so I go over to her house for Thanksgiving last year, and that was one of the first times I'd been away from my own family for Thanksgiving, and to be honest, their food seemed much more healthy than mine. Like they had green beans, but they didn't. When my family makes green beans for Thanksgiving, they make them with bacon in it. You put little bacon bits, like real bacon in it. So then there was also like cauliflower without cheese. Like, what is this? I couldn't believe how healthy it was. And like homemade cranberry sauce, which isn't exactly healthy because there's a lot of sugar, but I just couldn't believe how how healthy it was. I'm probably going to go back this year, too. I think I'm going to bring candied yams, though, to enrich some sugar in their lives. Although, they did have a really nice dessert section, I will say. But last year, I just flown back from California, so I couldn't make anything. Because there's blue laws here, which means that on holidays, all the like major stores are closed on like Thanksgiving and Christmas. So like Black Friday here actually starts on Friday. You can't have it start on Thursday at 8 p.m. like they do in other states. But yeah. So I'm just adding a barbecue outside because I thought that's very 4th of July to have, a barbecue. And then in the center, I added a fire pit because I wanted something to bring everybody together. So I thought, what better way than a fire pit? Yeah, so that was the purpose there. And then I was going to add chairs that kind of, a personal chair for every character, but I decided against it. Anyway, I'm just going to go into screenshots now, so... Hello everyone, Anggoy, Shasha, Gamon, Kamsamida, Gracias, Obrigado, Grati, Merci, Danka, Toda. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.